Hello and welcome to the second edition of the WeedPornDaily podcast. I'm Grouch, the owner and editor of WeedPornDaily.com. Follow us on Twitter at WeedPornDaily, and follow us on Tumblr for up to the hour WeedPorn, blog.weedporndaily.com. It's a very stony morning here at the WeedPornDaily offices. I just got done medicating myself. I hope you guys are lighting up your bowls, rolling your blunts, rolling your joints, enjoying yourselves. I just got off work. A lot of heavy lifting today, a lot of bending over, so I had a lot of back pain. I don't know, I must have not been postured right. But one bowl hit, took it right away. Very nice. Love marijuana. And today we've got an interesting lineup. We've got some great weed news, some sad weed news as usual, marijuana busts, deaths, the usual. But we've got some positive weed news to share with you guys. And we also have an interesting side bit today. I did a little review of Nutella Firecrackers. If you've never heard of firecrackers, it's essentially a quick and dirty way to make a marijuana edible. You use peanut butter, anything with a lot of fat in it, essentially a butter or oil derivative, and just slap it on a cracker or just any bread surface, whatever, and throw your marijuana on it, and you have yourself an edible. It's interesting, and you can cook it in 20 minutes. So I share my experience with that. Very prosperous experience. Highly recommend it. You guys should stay tuned for that. And the usual today. You guys get a little insight into my life and why I take, or why I medicate. Why I don't want to say need marijuana, but why marijuana has helped me the most in my life more than anything else. It's been an incredible tool. So stay tuned for that. Right off the bat, let's jump into some Weeducation, some weed news, the happenings in the world of weed. If you guys want to follow along, just go to WeedPornDaily.com, click on Weeducation up top, and just hit medical marijuana news. This week, the National Drug Survey was released, and we got a little snippet of how the drug war has been doing, how drug use has been going in the United States. It's a very interesting article. I don't know. From WebMD by Denise Mann. The use of illicit drugs and the non-medical use of prescription medications is increasing, and this is largely driven by an increased rate of marijuana use, a survey shows. The survey on drug use was released by the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration. About 22.6 million Americans aged 12 and older used illicit drugs in 2010. That's nearly 8.9% of the U.S. population. More young adults aged 18 to 25 are using illicit drugs, up from 19.6% in 2008 to 21.5% in 2010. Rates of non-medical use of prescription drugs, hallucinogens, and inhalants are around the same as 2009. There were some glimmers of hope seen in the new survey as well. The number of current methamphetamine users decreased by roughly half from 2006 to 2010, and cocaine users also declined from 2.4 million current users in 2006 to 1.5 million in 2010. and fewer 12 to 17-year-olds drank alcohol and used tobacco. So the young adults started using more legal drugs, and they stopped using the legal drugs. Very interesting. And the war on drugs apparently cut down the cocaine use a bit, and methamphetamine. But I still don't see. I mean, right from the beginning of the article, they mentioned this fact finding shows that marijuana is increasing drug use. I see nothing here that says that, other than marijuana use has increased along with other things. I mean, I don't know. It seems like they're drawing lines here. Invisible lines, rather. Check this article out. I mean, it's been all over the web. People are citing it everywhere. I mean, this is one of those articles that everybody cites because it's facts. It's statistics. Even though I don't know, this information seems a little wonky. Moving on to a little more melancholic news, sad news here. A car crashes through house, killing man, exposing marijuana operation. This is brought to us by the Chicago Sun-Times. Zachary Eisenberg, 28, was sitting on a couch playing video games with his roommate in their southwest suburban home around noon Saturday, when his neighbor across the street began backing her 1995 Mercury Grand Marquise out of the driveway. But the car's accelerator apparently stuck, sending the car into his home and killing him, authorities said. While authorities were in Eisenberg's home in the Lockport Township, they found drugs, leading to charges against his grieving roommate, police said. Will County Sheriff's Deputy Chief, Ken Kapaus, said the accident was apparently caused by the Marquise, driven by Eisenberg's 63-year-old neighbor, had mechanical problems. Hello, yeah. The accelerator got stuck. It appears the accelerator got stuck and the car backed across the street, knocked over a telephone pole, and went through the wall with tremendous force, Kapaus says. Brilliant, man. Eisenberg reportedly stood up to look out the window as the neighbor lost control of the car, police said. His roommate Thomas J. McCusey, longtime friend whose father owns the house, was able to jump off the couch to safety. Crazy! The car crashed through the outside wall of the home, then struck the couch, pushing it through an interior wall and out the back of the house. Eisenberg was pinned underneath and had to be extricated. I've never even heard that word. I never want to be extricated. Wow. Very, very sad news. Apparently they found the marijuana in his bathroom while they were, cleaning up all the fucking damage this old crazy lady did. I mean, have you heard of the brakes? I mean, I understand the car is stuck on acceleration, but I mean, whip it out of gear, start mashing on the brakes, pull up the e-brake, do something to cut back. I mean, she literally went through the front of this dude's house, fucking struck his couch, brought him through a wall and through the back of his house. She fucking drove through someone's house. They didn't crash into the house. She drove through his fucking house. So I think she could have cut back on the damage a little bit. I mean, I'm not blaming her. It's a mechanical problem, but damn, dude, seriously. And it's really sad that the article spun this way. I mean, right from the title, exposing marijuana operation. I mean, even in the article, it's described as, let's see here, they found a locked bathroom where they discovered a marijuana growing operation. They obtained a search warrant and allegedly also found cocaine, guns, and cash. Okay, that's a little bad, cocaine and guns. But I don't know. A bathroom isn't that large of an operation to be growing. I mean, I could see maybe 20 plants. I don't know if you're able to walk in, you can't have that many plants, and depending on the layout. But yeah, not that elaborate of an operation there. It seems like some dudes growing marijuana for themselves, and they had some cocaine and guns to protect that cocaine and marijuana from crazy bitches that drive through their house. Interesting article. Very sad. My condolences go to that family, and especially the roommate who now has to deal with allegations. So, yeah. Next in the news, marijuana legalization now dead in California for now. This brought to us by the NBC Bay Area. A prominent Bay Area marijuana activist is waving the white flag on California marijuana legalization movement. Richard Lee, the founder of Oaksterdam University and the chief sponsor of last year's Proposition 19, says the effort to get a successor legalization measure in front of California voters has stalled out, according to San Francisco Weekly. What went wrong? The desire is still there. There just isn't any money, he said. It costs millions to get a voter initiative on the ballot in California, and those millions haven't materialized. Time's running out, and the fundraisers just weren't there, he said. Donors are to be tapped for a legislative initiative including Facebook billionaires, as well as well-heeled money pits like George Soros, who donated $1 million to Prop 19 about a week before the 2010 election. But money is needed now for 2012. Lee spent $1.5 million of his own money just on the signature drive necessary to qualify Prop 19 for the ballot. Then raised the additional funds necessary to run a statewide campaign. Nobody signed up to shell out cash at this time, meaning legalizing it will have to wait until someone can legal tender it. Very interesting. No one's backing marijuana legalization with their wallets. I see a lot of support with it with the community. A lot of people against it, actually. A lot of the dispensaries and growers finding the legalization laws unfair and the system quite corrupt as it is. But people, the people actually for legalization, I'd expect them to show their wallets here. I'm surprised. Maybe it's the economy. I guess it's a lot of. I know it's a lot of middle class people just smoking their weed and trying to survive, trying to hold up their job. Interesting, and it's hard to keep a job these days, especially with all the drug testing that's going on. Apparently, 40% of jobs drug test nowadays. So I could see the problem for money. And in happier news, and entertainment news, Wiz Khalifa cleared of felony marijuana charges. It's brought to us by the MTV News. On Wednesday, Pitt County, North Carolina District Attorney Clark Everett. Goddamn, these fucking titles, dude. Pitt County, North Carolina District Attorney Clark Everett dropped a felony drug trafficking court against a rapper who was arrested on November 8th following a show on the campus of East Carolina University after police found marijuana on his tour bus. Khalifa and 9 other men were subsequently charged with trafficking, maintaining a vehicle for sale or storage of marijuana, and misdemeanor offense of possession of drug paraphernalia. But according to Everett, the trafficking charge was an error because the amount of marijuana seized on the bus, slightly more than 2 ounces, according to Greenville, North Carolina's The Daily Reflector, did not exceed the 10-pound threshold required to make the count stick. Everett told the Reflector that all additional charges against Khalifa and 6 others with him were dismissed when 3 of the men admitted that the marijuana was theirs and pleaded guilty to misdemeanor possession during an August 11th hearing. Each of the 3 paid $1,000 fines and court costs. At the time of the arrest, Khalifa paid a substantial fee to a bail bondsman to cover $300,000 bond for himself and the 9 other men arrested so they could leave immediately. The tab, Everett said, was also an error, given the actual nature of the charges. Yeah, it's a lot of fucking money. Well, 9 guys, but still. Very, very nice. Wiz Khalifa off charges because his homies took the bullet. Very, very sweet of them. And they didn't get really any crazy penalties here. They just had to pay $1,000 each and some court costs. That was kind of fucked up. They had to pay court costs after the court made a mistake. But whatever, man. They're off the hook. Wiz is off the hook. And he obviously was not trying to sell marijuana with his tour bus. He was just trying to enjoy himself while he was doing some hard work on his tour. Hopefully people start respecting this, start respecting marijuana users and their choices. In lighter news too, a interesting book has been released. You guys might want to pick this up. This is brought to us by the Toke of the Town, our buddy Steve Elliott. Sex Pot. Marijuana and sex are lots of fun together. If you've smoked very much marijuana and have had very much sex, you know they're both lots of fun, and you know they go together spectacularly well. There's nothing quite like combining the relaxed, sensual enhancement of cannabis and some quality time with a smoking partner. Now there's a book to help you explore the happy confluence of carnality and cannabis. Sex Pot, the Marijuana Lover's Guide to Getting It On, by cannabis advice columnist Mama Kind, can verbally inspire your imagination the way a joint of Afgoo does conceptually. Mama Kind shows the kind of good-humored, laugh-out-loud funny, accepting approach that is just what the love doctor ordered, and her slightly stoned style would be great fun to read even if it weren't about my two favorite subjects, hump and humping. But you guys can read this article. It's very wittily written, as you can tell. But basically, this chick wrote a book, and yeah, dude, she fucking went to a glassmaker and told him, "Look, I want to do something different. I want to do something a little weird. I want to smoke out of my own pussy. Can you make that happen?" And apparently he did not laugh. He did not just walk away. I mean, there are so many reactions I would expect from a sane human being to that request. But he said, yeah, and walked away. Came back a couple weeks later and gave her own pussy toker, she calls it, where she can smoke weed out of her vagina. I can imagine that's incredibly sanitary. I'll actually give you guys the description here because I thought it was fascinating. I mean, I'm not a female. I don't know much about the female sex toy terminology, but I think you guys will get a good idea. Then lo and behold, a humble brown box, slightly smaller than a bread box, arrived labeled, "Attention Mama Kind," about a year and a half later. Okay, not a couple weeks, I guess. I was astonished to pull out what appeared to be the world's first pussy toker. A palm-sized, hourglass-shaped gourd is fitted with a glass bowl. Rubber surgical tubing leads to the bottom of a dildo-shaped gourd with a tiny, pee-hole-looking hole at the other end. It brought tears to my eyes and wetness to my crotch. There were even instructions. I was so excited to try it, I almost pulled it out on the bus home. Long story short, the pussy toker worked, and Mama Kind enjoyed trying it. Read the book. So if you guys want to read about her crazy adventures in sex and pot, pick up her book. I'm sure it's on Amazon. Yeah, it's on Amazon, eCampus, Barnes & Noble, Aliburst. I've never even heard of some of these retailers. Just Google her up. Sex Pot. Sexy stoner advice from cannabis columnist Mama Kind. Yeah. The last news article of today, the most interesting news article of today, marijuana tester finds street-bought pot unsafe. This is brought to us by the Butowski News. I'm not sure, they don't have a logo here or anything, but the Gaylord Herald Times, maybe, I don't know. Yeah, it's in Gaylord. I just had to check if it was a fake article. Yes, it is. It's in Gaylord. That place is real. The owner of a Gaylord laboratory, which tests locally grown medical marijuana, fears patients who use black market pot may be subjecting themselves to unsafe levels of molds and pesticides. Dan Tomaski, a certified caregiver who runs Northern Laboratory Services on North Center Avenue, said last month's court ruling, which closed marijuana collectives across the state, forces some patients to buy cannabis from street dealers. That pot, Tomaski said, can harbor mold as well as pesticides at levels more than 60 times those allowed for store-bought spinach. This is a very, very interesting article. This is a lucrative industry right now in the medical marijuana business. Many dispensaries have their marijuana actually approved by these laboratories that actually test for potency, and they let the dispensaries know, legit, how much THC content each bud has, what the actual strain is, the derivatives, and it tells you what potency the hash is. I mean, it's science. It's legit. It's very expensive, and it's new agey stuff in the medical marijuana business. And then this guy took some street pot, tested it, and found that it was pretty fucked up. Not surprising, since street pot is grown for profit, not necessarily for health. And it has to be grown stealthily. It can't be grown in a dispensary all nice and neat. Sometimes they have to resort to interesting options. I mean, I understand that the weed from the streets is a little more dangerous. It's interesting how the government doesn't seem to care. How our state government and federal government doesn't care that they cut off patients from marijuana, and they know that they're just going to go, or I guess they don't know that they're going to go to the streets and essentially harm themselves trying to help themselves. It's a sad state of affairs, and very interesting. Check out the article. It's very fascinating. Mold, dirt, and suspected insect droppings were found in samples. These are unfit for consumption, he said. He called it the swag report. Swag is a slang term for low-grade marijuana. Very interesting article. Check it out. It may make you change your mind about smoking your dealer's dope. That's it for Weeducation. I'm not going to bore you guys with reading articles anymore. If you guys want to keep up on the latest weed news, just go to WeedPornDaily.com. As I said before, hit Weeducation up top. And we post the latest news every week on Monday. A lot of great videos this week. Joe Rogan podcast snippets with Kevin Smith and comedian Eddie Bravo about smoking weed and their experiences. Very positive experiences, and very positive endorsements for marijuana. Also some other very positive videos. We got normal news as usual. Congressman Dana Rohrabacher endorses regulating marijuana like a wine initiative. A lot of good positive videos this week. Make sure to check those out. And yeah, I'm gonna cut in right now the firecracker review I was talking about. Hope you guys enjoy it. Hope you guys try some firecrackers. Again, I highly recommend it. Hello, and welcome to another WeedPornDaily shorty. by Grouch. I just got done baking some Nutella Firecrackers. I posted it up on the WeedPornDaily Tumblr. You can get to that by going to blog.weedporndaily.com. Just wanted to do a little quick review. It's very, very interesting. I've never actually personally made firecrackers myself. My friends have made them before, and they've gotten high. But it seemed like a waste of weed, and didn't seem like it'd taste good. But now, oh my god. Nutella, I used to say you could smother anything in Nutella and I'd eat it. You could put Nutella on shit and I'd probably eat it. I stand by that. You put it on weed and, oh my god, it just makes the plant material taste good. Like, I literally taste the kush, the plant, THC, like the cannabis, and it's married with the Nutella. It's just a very subtle addition to the sweetness and the strong hazelnut that is Nutella. Fascinating. And I cooked it with a graham cracker, which adds a nice little crunchy sweetness. Nothing like a saltine. No smell while cooking. I mean, maybe a faint slight odor, but nothing detectable really. Even the treat itself smells very lightly of it. Only when you bite into it does it really take on the odor. But very, very good. I mean, I can tell that I'm eating keef and Nutella. Just took a big bite of a leaf. Nice. But it's not bad. I've had a little weed in my mouth before. It's not the end of the world. It's interesting because the Nutella actually has a higher fat content than peanut butter, which is usually the staple for firecrackers. So this could easily become the replacement. I mean, it's way more efficient by the books. I'll let you guys know very soon if this leaves me medicated compared to smoking a gram in a bowl. So stay tuned. This is Grouch coming at you guys 2 hours and 30 minutes post consuming the medicated Nutella Firecracker. Overall, just interesting experience. I mean, I love the edible high. It's very clean. It's very, very different. It's not like smoking where it's instantaneous, and if you were to actually look at a chart of the potency of the high, or the just your level of highness over time, the scale is much, much different from smoking to eating. So it's way different experience. It's like another type of psychedelic trip that comes at you in different waves and different times. It's interesting. I keep saying interesting because it was very good. I was surprised. I didn't expect the firecrackers to work. The concept's there. It's very simple. You'd spread some peanut butter or just some fatty spread on a cracker and sprinkle some weed. Bake it at a certain time, and it makes essentially can of butter or can of Nutella. I mean, I'm not going to say it was very potent, because it wasn't. I mean, I'm sure if I had taken that gram that I had put into the firecracker and smoked it or vaporized it, or even taken 24 hours to properly extract the THC from it, I think I would have gotten a more potent sample. But for just cooking 20 minutes, grinding up the weed, I mean, for the quick snack that a firecracker is, it's worth it. I highly recommend this to any stoner who just wants to change up the experience. I mean, I know from personal experience that bongs and just pipes and joints, blunts, anything gets old after a while. So changing up the medium helps a lot. And firecrackers, no exception at all. Great stuff. The high itself, in comparison to smoking, it was a sample of a Jack Herer Unknown cross. The high itself from smoking, I've explained before on the podcast, it's very potent, comes at you indica, but it's sativa dominant, so it's nice, it's a good mix, and the firecracker was almost an essence of the smoking experience. I mean, it was just an incredibly potent sativa with that little bit of indica sprinkled on. Just my body felt lighter, it felt more rich, more just in tune. It was nice and lovely, and my mind itself felt like it was heightened. It felt like it was expanded. It was beautiful. I mean, I was thinking in different ways and trusting myself, and it was excellent high, highly recommended. And the onset came a little short, came in like 30 minutes, maybe 40. Maybe it's because I'd eaten before, I didn't have an empty stomach. But yeah, definitely worth trying. You guys should cook up some firecrackers tonight. I recommend at least 1 gram. I mean, it is kind of a luxury thing. If you don't have a lot of weed, I wouldn't recommend this. But if you've just recently capped like an ounce or a halfie, or even a quarter, definitely. No smell. As I said before, I didn't smell up the house. I kept burping up cannabis, so I don't be burping around any cops. But other than that, no smell, no odor, just completely stealth. Just a quick snack you can make for yourself any time of the day. 20 minutes, 200 degrees in the oven. I will never turn down firecrackers from this day on. That's it. I'm gonna stop rambling on about firecrackers, because I'm still probably a little medicated from earlier, and oof, they were very, very good. Maybe it's the Nutella. Nutella makes anything spectacular. You can put it on dog shit, as I've said before, and I would eat that shit in a heartbeat. Cannabis is obviously no exception. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys. Thank you for whoever recommended Nutella. I didn't think of that. So thank you for bringing that to my attention today. Much love, and stay regular, Super Stoners. Alrighty. Hope you guys like that review. We'll be bringing you more reviews of fire strains, edible experiences, etc., etc. I hope you guys appreciate them. And I'd also like to share with you guys this week my personal reason for using medical marijuana, or cannabis really. I don't like using the term marijuana. It was coined by the government, and it's the roots of it are essentially negative. And I think it's a little too soon to bring it back, if you know what I mean. But I personally suffer from IBS. It's apparently a very common condition in the U.S., although no one I've talked to has it. And it's a condition where my stomach it essentially doesn't run normally. All the piping down there is all fucked up. I produce too much acid. I can't digest food properly. My stomach is very sensitive. I can't have too spicy food, too sweet food. I'm lactose intolerant. It's just a laundry list of eating problems. And every morning I wake up, and since I lay down and I have excess acid, all the extra acid lays on the lining of my stomach and burns it. So I wake up in the morning and I literally feel like there is acid in my stomach, like I feel like my stomach is on fire. It doesn't go away for hours. I don't have any appetite. I'm usually nauseous. I have a kind of morning sickness, like I'm pregnant. It's not pleasing at all. But one day, I mean, I lived 18 years with that problem, 17 and a half. Never knowing that there was a solution. I mean, I tried the things that the doctors told me. I went to specialists for stomachs, and they all told me to just regulate my diet, to take over-the-counter pills like or stuff like Pepto-Bismol, stuff for constipation, things like that. Things you would take on an everyday basis. And I would take those drugs essentially, and it would ruin my system. I'd take a constipation pill and I'd be constipated for 3 days, rather than the pill bottle saying 1 to 2 days. I'd take Pepto-Bismol and nothing would happen. I'd take my Lanta, nothing would happen. It would not cure the acid problems I was having. And I also have gas problems. I tried taking some Gas X, Gas O, some weird brand, D-Gas, and that didn't help either. I mean, nothing was able to help me. I mean, if they did help me, they caused another problem in my life, and I didn't appreciate it. So I tried to live my life quite holistically, never taking medications really, unless I was in crippling pain. And I got introduced to marijuana one day, and I didn't realize it at first, but it helped me incredibly with every single problem I was having. Literally, all my problems had gone away with marijuana, or cannabis rather. Waking and baking instantly cures the acid problem. I get an instant appetite for food if I'd like to eat. Or I can just relax and not have to lay in bed in crippling pain, or just lay in front of the computer, half conscious, half wondering why I have to suffer that way. Just bliss. I'm just instantly uplifted every time. And any time I have a cramp or just episode where my stomach can't digest something, and it gives me like a kick to let me know, like, hey man, don't ever eat that again. And that kick usually leaves me on the floor. I just smoke some marijuana and boom, I'm back up, like right off the floor. It's incredible. Incredible stuff. It expanded my diet. I mean, I wasn't able to eat a lot of foods because they cause my stomach to bubble. They cause my stomach just to be upset. And if I smoke before I eat, I get no upset stomach. So I was able to expand my diet greatly. Now I actually eat more healthy foods. I eat vegetables. I eat more fruits, more whole, natural foods that I rejected before because of their texture and taste, which marijuana just made me fall in love with. Excuse me. I've also had problems with insomnia. I'm sure everybody has the same story. Everybody can't sleep at night. They stay up late on the computer. I'm sure it's something else. It's probably some stress. It's probably I read articles about how the actual rays emitted from your computer monitor keep you awake. But I just can't sleep at night, even if I'm away from the computer, even if I force myself to lay down, I just can't sleep on occasions. And it's a little weed, man. take a couple puffs. Just I'm off to Never Never Land. It's quite. It's an instant cure. I call it my personal panacea. It's just my cure-all. Every single problem in my life has been improved. My stress has been relieved. I was able to. It's just improved my life as well as helped it medically. So just, I'll never be able to endorse cannabis enough. It's just so positive. I don't understand why it hasn't been legalized yet. Why we just can't accept that people who use cannabis are normal, awesome human beings. I mean, cannabis doesn't change you at all. If anything, it just improves everything about you. Or at least improves your life, which allows you to be a better person, not having to worry about your problems. So after that ringing endorsement for cannabis, and a little insight to my personal suffering every day, or rather, salvation with marijuana, cannabis. Sorry, keep doing that. Yeah, that's it for today, guys. I really appreciate all the listeners, all the likes, all the follows. We've got 6,500 followers up to this moment. Me looking at the Tumblr, and I just love you guys. I'll never be able to convey it properly. You guys probably just think I'm really high or something, or just telling you guys I love you because. Yeah, but I do really love you. Thank you all for the support. We've gotten an amazing amount of referrals through Grass City, which is great. You guys are buying bongs, pipes, vaporizers, etc. from them, and we are getting a little trickle down from that. That's great. It's helping me pay the server costs, helping me fund this personal project of mine. So thank you guys, really appreciate all the support, and I couldn't ask for better fans. If you guys would like to be a part of the WeedPornDaily podcast, just submit your audio to WeedPornDaily by going to weedporndaily.com/submit-audio, and you can just email us and attach your audio file there. We want to hear your strain reviews. We want to hear any music that you're making, if you guys drop some cushy beats, and if you guys just want to tell us a funny story about a time that you got high, we'd love to hear it. We'd love to feature you guys on the podcast. So just drop by the WeedPorn Daily website and submit your audio today. Thank you for listening again. Much love. Hope you guys enjoyed this little trip. Again, I'll come back to you guys next week, I believe. Maybe the week after with the latest in weed news, weed reviews, and weed porn. Thank you. Stay regular, super stoners. 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 Stoners.